Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit is here, back again with Hunter x Hunter on episode 130, and in the last episode, Meruem got back to the palace. He is starting to regain his memories now. He's got a very faint image of Komugi, but not the full picture, so he doesn't know the ins and outs just yet. They are about to head to the tower where they played all of the Gunga games and everything like that, so if he was to see any of those pieces or anything like that, then it's all going to come flooding back to him. So Shia has left Killua and Komugi to get rid of those so that those memories don't come back, and Shia still has a chance of taking out Komugi, before Meruem gets all of his memories back. Regardless, I don't think it matters. The outcome for Shia, I think, will remain the same. I think that at the end of this, as soon as Meruem does get those memories back, Shia's history. I don't think, there's no way Meruem's going to let him live. So I think, regardless, at the end of this, Shia's going to go out by getting killed by the king. And in a way, Shia would have won, which I don't like. I don't like the idea of him winning anything. I want him to suffer. He's a bastard. Because regardless, Shia is like, I'll take any punishment. Because his whole thing is for the king anyway. So even if he does get killed by the king, then it was all worth it to him anyway. So I hope Shia's plan doesn't go through, and I hope he doesn't get to kill Komugi before the memories come, before the memories come back, and then he dies anyway. So therefore, Shia doesn't get the plan done, and he dies. So basically, he goes out suffering and not being able to do anything, which is great. I think that's a perfect end for him. So we'll have to see if that is what happens. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're just going to get into episode 130 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 130. Right. Well, Gordon's having a fucking a mental breakdown. Because he doesn't know how to take really what he's just learned. Like, even with Dr. Blythe coming out, he thinks that, he's trying to tell himself that no, it was all a lie. Even though that's obviously there's no logic in lying saying he's that he's dead if she could just heal him. I knew he was dead anyway. I've known since the beginning. In a way, it's an odd episode, everything dealing with Gon and Kai to this episode, because it's like I'm almost happy to finally get to the point where they now know, and now we can kind of move on from that whole thing of getting Kite back, because I kind of got sick of hearing them being like, you know what I mean, we're going to go get Kite back and we're going to heal him up and everything like that, when I've known for how many episodes now? What feels like maybe 50 episodes or 40 episodes that I know that he's been dead. And I every time they brought it up, I'm like, he's not alive, man. He's not okay. So I'm kind of happy that the realization is kind of finally setting in. I think one of the questions that I do have, I don't know if it's is it Gon's fixation with the idea in his head that Kite was fine the whole time is the reason why it's hurting him so much, as opposed to the actual relationship that they had. Because I mean, it's not like you it kind of seems harsh to say, but it's not like Kite was around for a long time. It's not like they had this unbreakable sort of bond that spanned a long time. They met once when he was a kid, that he had to remember, be remembered. Kite told him about what had happened, and then go and sort of remembered, and then and then obviously they had some time going through the NGL and whatnot, and then that, I don't know how much time really had how much time they did really spend together. But I mean, I'm trying to get I feel like it's more the fixation on, in Gon's head, he knows that Kite is alive. Like, that's what he knows that he's alive. So the idea that he's not, I wonder if that's the reason why it's like killing him so much. Because like it's a mental breakdown of a character that, you know, while Kite was fucking really cool, I don't know if they really had that close of a relationship to warrant like breaking down that much, you know. And I don't want to come across like it, like, you know, like I don't know, I can't even think of the word. I don't want to come across like it, like, you know, they meant nothing to each other practically because they were only together for a certain amount of time. I mean, you know, sometimes the amount of time you spend with somebody, like, it's not that really matters in a relationship, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's more the fixation on knowing that he was alive when he actually wasn't that is really getting to him. But yeah, and I mean, in a way, it is weird because I am happy to know that realization has finally got there, even though it kind of hasn't. But I feel like it has. Like it has, but Gon is still in the mental breakdown phase, and he still hasn't. It's like, it's my fault. I went with him. No, it's not. It's Pito's fault. She killed him, and, you know, playing that around in his head. Never Pito bringing out Dr. Blythe, him thinking, oh, it's to heal him, right? Even though the logic goes against it, obviously, you know, like, it doesn't make sense. He's dead. That's it. And then she's healing her own arm, getting ready to fight, I'd imagine. I don't know what's going to tip him over the edge, if it's an attack by Neferpito or what. It might be a case of once she's healed her arm, Dr. Blythe goes away, and then that ticks him off. Because now it's like, in his head, he's like, after you've done that, please heal him. If Dr. Blythe goes away after it's healed Neferpito's arm, maybe then the realization that she's not going to do it really kicks in. And maybe because he's telling himself in his head that, oh yeah, of course he's fine, maybe it's like losing him a second time. Like, maybe that's how it feels to him. Like, you know, like, you could have healed him and you didn't. Maybe that might be something that's going on. Because, I mean, his mind is really broken at the moment. So I feel like if he, even in this mental breakdown state, has now regained some kind of hope because Dr. Blythe has come out. If Dr. Blythe was to be removed, that might be the thing to tip him over the edge, and he does go into the realm of like, oh, so you could have healed him, but you didn't, and then he goes mental. Maybe that's what happens, and maybe that's what tips him over the edge. But fucking Shia, man, that little bastard, that little runt, that bastard fucking knobhead. I'm not. So now, without like something that hasn't even been seen before, I feel like it's a bit bullshit. Well, I mean, I get it because he can sort of rearrange his cells to change into other people. So I guess there is some merit like in that. Right? Fair enough. But talking like somebody else completely, like absolutely flawlessly, I don't know if that's how it works. Because, I mean, to what degree do you have to be able to... I mean, because it's not like Shia's like been studying the insides of Komugi to know where certain cells should go, right? I don't, like, on the outside, right, fair enough. You know, he's seen her for a while, so he kind of knows the ins and outs of what she looks like. But like, the insides, how do you know which cells go where to put what to create, you know, essentially vocal cords to completely disguise your voice as somebody else? I don't know. It almost feels like a bullshit power that he's just gotten now, and it's a very convenient power to have at this moment in time, if you understand what I mean. I get the idea that because he can sort of, you know, like, he can sort of like just rip himself apart back down to cells and stuff, so rearranging them to look like somebody else, right, fair enough. But you know, like even then, his cells are a part of him. I mean, he would have to like literally create genetic makeup when he's doing all of this, right? To even look like Kamugi properly, but I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but you know, it came at a very opportune time, perfectly, almost like very conveniently, which kind of sucks. But you know, I suppose it does keep like that sort of realm of, you know, like Shia being sort of like the big bad at the moment, because Merum's not really in that state to be the big bad at right now. He's just trying to get his memories back. But yeah, Shia did get rid of the Gungi set and everything like that. I imagine like under some rubble there'll be like a one Gungi piece, and that'll bring it all back. You know, it's like we didn't get every one of them, but the problem with that is I don't know. I feel like if Shia can rearrange his cells to look like somebody else, then I feel like his awareness and, you know, like taking stuff in like kind of has to be like at a really high level. So therefore, I was thinking like, you know, because Shia was watching all of these games play out with Gungi and everything like that, that I feel like he would almost know how many pieces there were and everything like that, and he would make sure that he got every last one of them. But then it also could be a case of, because he's panicking and trying to get everything out and too quickly, he may have just forgotten something. You know, but who knows? So yeah, we had the Knuckle and Mello. They were hiding in the Sea of Humans. That was fantastic. Great idea. Love that. And yeah, and they did mention the APR thing. Like, how did the APR go straight to Shia and not disappear? Because they have to be within a certain range, don't they? And I don't know how far they really were away, but yeah, like when they brought up the whole thing of like, you know, are we like too close or whatever for the APR to reappear? I was like, well, how is it not there now? Considering how close they are there, when clearly they were further away in the last episode, yet APR was around. You know, it's weird. I don't know how that works. What else? Palm's Power, Wing Blue. That's awesome. That I like that we got that sort of like visual representation of, like, you know, it's like she's looking at TV screens, which says that, you know, it says that you can only look up at what 3 targets at once, and that's for different eyes. So she's got a total of 6, I suppose. That's really cool. And of course, the last person that you would fucking, you know, that would be taking up the space or whatever that you could be using on somebody else, of course, is Shia. The one fucking character right now that's causing chaos. He's the only one that we're worried about right now. Merum's not going to do anything until he gets all his memories back anyway, so it really makes no odds. So it's really Shia that we really need to look out for. And of course, like, everything is sort of playing into his hands at the moment, like almost perfectly, which I really fucking hate. So yeah, I don't know if, like, Welfin asked Shia if you could get a doctor or something like that, but I don't know if Shia can really do anything. I don't think he really cares either. Poor Welfin, man. He'll be fine anyway. As long as his brain doesn't get damaged, he'll not die, will he? So he should be fine. I don't get why Meruem didn't just fly straight to the tower. He chose to land on the ground and walk to the tower. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this, in a show that has been very well written up until, like, you know, throughout the whole show, I feel like there's a few things that I'm not really keen on in this episode. Just being honest, I like, you know, all those things that I said. Like, I feel like it was convenient for Shia's power to come up. I feel like Meruem not flying just straight to the tower, as opposed to instead he just decided to walk from the entrance. Things like that. I just, you know, the APR thing being out of range, I thought it was supposed to disappear, and, you know, I forgot about that obviously last episode because I didn't talk about it, but it just feels like that, like, there's some inconsistencies there. Of course, if I'm mistaken, like, give me your thoughts in the comments below to talk about it, because how do you feel like about those like sort of situations? Are you fine with them or not? But that's why I do these discussions for, is to really point out like my thoughts on the episode and whatnot. And if there's something that I feel like is a bit iffy or whatnot, then I have to talk about it. There's no use just saying like, oh, it's brilliant, I love this, I love that, and I love everything about it. Get nothing from that. So yeah, there's that. What else? I think that's it. I think that's all I've got really as well. So yeah, I mean, we'll see where this picks up next episode. I had some guy, I had one of my patrons, bless you know who you are, who said that I should really react to 130 and 131 in one sitting. So when it was coming up to the end, I was expecting actually go mental or something, and then we'll basically get the start of this fight between him and Neferpito. So there'll be like a massive cliffhanger, but there wasn't really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm intrigued to see next episode because I think it is about to kick off, but I think we'll be fine. And anyway, it's just a 2-day wait for the next episode anyway, because I'm recording this on the Wednesday, it's going up on the Wednesday, and then on Friday will be episode 131, so it's not even going to be that long, so you'll be fine. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish, and I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday, as opposed to the general public who only get access to 2 episodes a week. So by the time this episode comes out on YouTube for the general public, I will have finished the show, so you can go over, become an early access tier patron, and have access to the rest of the show in reaction. So if you can binge watch the rest of them within a month, it's only going to cost you $5 for all those reactions, so it's a pretty good deal. There's also $10 there for full length. That doesn't matter for this show, but for other shows you will need that. And then there are other tiers where you can pay to have a show be reacted to. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that is all I have, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.